So today we're going to dive into this really cool, fantastical story called Brewed in a Teacup. Now on the surface, it might look like a simple tale about a girl's journey through the storms of Jupiter. But if you look closer, it's actually this incredible allegory for what courage really truly means.
This one line. This is the heart of the entire thing. It's spoken to our hero, and it just perfectly sets up the central theme. Strength has nothing to do with your physical size. It's all about the incredible potential you hold inside. Let's dig into that.
All right, so first up, let's meet our protagonist. Her journey starts in a world that seems pretty ordinary, but, it's about to get anything but.
Our hero is a young girl named Alexis, and our adventures take place in this fascinating, dreamlike state, this kind of fourth dimension, where reality and magic just completely blend together. And that setting is so important because it lets the story take her internal struggles and turn them into real, physical challenges she has to overcome. So her nickname is Teacup, and it's not just some cute name, it's this really powerful metaphor. Just think about it. Like a teacup, she's a small vessel, yeah, but she's capable of holding this immense amount of courage and hope and magic, way more than you'd think just by looking at her.
And of course, every hero needs a call to adventure, right? For Teacup, it comes from this mysterious mentor figure who's only known as the guest. And the challenge isn't to go slay a dragon or anything like that. It's something way more introspective. Journey into the massive storms of Jupiter to find out what courage really is.
Okay, so this next part is where that abstract idea of courage stops being an idea and becomes a real, tangible experience for Teacup.
And there it is. This is the core message of the entire story. The guest explains that courage isn't something you feel, it's a decision you make. It's that choice to act in spite of feeling afraid, in spite of feeling totally tiny in the face of a giant storm. So how does that actually work? Well, the story breaks it down for us in 3 simple steps. First, you have to acknowledge your fear. You can't just ignore it. Second, you make a conscious choice to act anyway. And third, and this is key, you realize that courage is like a muscle. It gets stronger every single time you use it. And this moment right here just perfectly illustrates that third step. When Teacup finally takes that first terrifying step into the storm, the thing she fears most doesn't destroy her. It actually lifts her up. It's this incredible moment where she realizes, whoa, facing the challenge is actually what gives me the power to move forward. Look, taking that first step is one thing, but building real, lasting resilience, that takes practice. So the next part of her journey is the series of trials, and each one represents a different kind of internal battle we all face. First, she comes up against the whispering clouds. And these aren't just weather patterns, they are literally the voices of self-doubt. You know the ones. They whisper things like, you're too small, or you can't possibly do this. It's the challenge of silencing our own inner critic. Next up, she has to face the twisting vortex. This is a metaphor for all those times in life when everything feels confusing and chaotic, when problems seem to be hitting you from every direction and knocking you off your feet. And finally, there's the celestial maze. This is the ultimate test of finding your way when there's no clear path forward, when you just have to rely on your gut and your creativity to navigate these really complex, shifting problems. So what does she learn from all of this? Well, by facing these different challenges over and over, Teacup builds this amazing toolkit for courage. And it's not just about being tough. It's about patience, about trusting her guides, about reinforcing her own self-belief with that little mantra, I can do this, and, of course, using creativity to find solutions.
All right, Teacup has learned her lessons, she's practiced her skills, and now it is time for the final exam. We're heading right into the story's climax, the great red spot of Jupiter.
So, deep inside the biggest storm in our solar system, she doesn't find some terrifying monster. Instead, she finds a gatekeeper, the Maze Keeper. And this being guards the very heart of courage and gives Teacup one last test to prove she really understands everything she's learned. And this is the riddle. The Maze Keeper asks her, what is the bravest thing a small heart can do when faced with a storm? Now, before I show you her answer, just think about it for a second. What would you say? And this is Teacup's answer. It's just so profound because it pulls together everything she's been through. Bravery isn't one single act. It's a combination of persistence. Just keep moving forward. Trust in yourself. And hope. That belief you hold on to even when the odds feel absolutely impossible. And notice this.
Her reward isn't some magic sword or a medal. The reward is the wisdom itself. The real prize is the change inside her, this deep, unshakable understanding of her own capacity for courage.
So let's bring this all home. Teacup's wild journey through Jupiter is really a map for our own real-world struggles. And the story's ultimate takeaway is that courage is an active, ongoing choice that we make every day.
This just lays out that shift in perspective so perfectly. When you look at a storm through the lens of fear, it's this overwhelming force that demands you be big and strong, and it screams at you to stop. But when you look at that same storm through the lens of courage, it just becomes a single step. It doesn't ask you to be big, it just asks you to be brave. And it whispers, keep going.
And this is the last piece of wisdom from her guide. It's such a powerful reminder that we don't need these huge, heroic gestures. The journey of courage is built on small, consistent steps, and every single one of those steps has the power to create massive change.
So this story leaves us with a final question for ourselves. It suggests courage isn't something you have, it's something you do. So looking at your own life, what storm, whether it's big or small, are you ready to take that first step into?